Welcome everyone to a special edition of the Sports Wrap with Michael Kravetz. I am your host, Michael Kravetz, and today we're recording on a Monday. Just felt like it'd be easier to do a show today. It's going to be a real quick one because Steelers did not play yesterday. They're on their bye week. The Panthers didn't play this past weekend. So just figured I'd just get a little quick show in here to prepare for the Steelers' upcoming game against the Eagles, Pitt's upcoming game against Syracuse, and then also to talk about the Pirates' collapse as well, in the season almost finishing up for the Pirates. So I guess we'll start off with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yesterday, they... can't believe I'm saying it. They were winning in the top of the ninth, 3-2. Joel Hanrahan. Pretty much one of the only bright spots for the Pirates this year, toward the end of the year, along with McCutcheon. Ends up blowing the 3-2 lead by giving up a leadoff solo home run to former Pirate Xavier Paul, and then he gives up a double to former Pirate Ryan Ludwig, and then Zach Cosart doubles him in. And then the bottom of the ninth, they're down 4-3. Jose Tabata, leadoff walk. Aroldis Chapman throws the ball away. Tabata goes to second. It looks like he's going to make third easily, but for some ungodforsaken reason, he gets thrown out. Now, either it was Leiva's fault or Tabata was hustling around second base. But anyway, the Pirates end up losing the game 4-3 and clinching their 20th consecutive losing season. Of course, 8 weeks ago, this would have been unprecedented. Pirates were 62-46, 16 games over 500. Highest watermark since '92 for this team to be that many games over 500. And some people around here, they didn't think they were going to actually make the playoffs, but they did not see them collapsing to finish below 500 for the second straight year. And they're the only team now in Major League history to ever be 16 games over 500, two-thirds of the way through the season, and then fall under 500 by the end of the year. So the Pirates' record now is 77-82. They have 3 games remaining at home against the Atlanta Braves, and I think it's imperative for them to finish out strong. Obviously, you'd want them to sweep the Braves, because really the Braves don't necessarily have nothing to play for. They're 3 games back of the Nationals, so they have a slim chance of possibly tying them, but I think Washington holds the season series edge, so they have the division locked up. But it'd be a sour note if the Pirates were to lose the series, or if they got swept again.
Still finished with their best record since 1997, which they were dubbed the Freak Show. The team finished 79-83, so if the Pirates were to win out, they'd be 2 games under 500. It'd be their best record since '92. But that's really nothing. It's not a bright spot to even consider, oh yeah, that was a successful season, because obviously people wanted this, the fans and the owners and the ownership team, they wanted this team to finish above 500 when they should have, because second half of their schedule, like Hurdle was saying, the first 40 games this year, Pirates had the toughest schedule among any team, because they were playing a lot of winning teams and some playoff teams from the year before. And the Pirates finished that stretch 19-21. And obviously with June and July, their offense, they became one of the best teams in baseball during the summer months. These last 40 games, the majority of them were against the Astros, Cubs, Mets, and even the Brewers when they were under 500 at a time. And the Pirates were a disgrace. It's really unbelievable, to say the least. They've only won 15 games since the 19-inning win against the St. Louis Cardinals back in August. It's just really frustrating as a fan, because I really thought this was going to be the year that they would at least be over 500. The playoffs would be a slim chance, but to be below 500 for 20th straight year, it's just unbearable. I mean, it all started with the starting pitching. I mean, the ERA, the earned run average, has increased by 1 in the month of September. And the offense was just inconsistent. At times it looked putrid. McCutcheon, he tailed off in the second half. I mean, you can't blame him, though, because he carried the team in May and April, and then the
in April and May, and then in June, July, the offense was just clicking on all cylinders, and it was all about the home run. And when they couldn't hit it, they just struggled even more. But many of the downfalls have been base running, trying to catch runners on base, trying to catch them stealing, because Barajas and McHenry, they did a horrible job. The Pirates were dead last in that statistic. On-base percentage was bad. Amount of walks was bad. It was just all the way around, it was bad to end the season. And really, as a Pirate fan, for next year, it's frustrating because even if the team starts off well and has a good run, not a lot of people are going to buy into it because they're just going to be thinking to themselves, okay, when's the collapse going to happen? And it's going to frustrate me even more, paying attention, covering the team, and talking about them on my podcast. It's because I won't be able to get in a conversation with someone and have them say, oh, well, they'll end up screwing up in the end. I can't talk to that person knowing that, and it's going to be so frustrating for me. I wish this was the year they would have did it, but gonna have to wait till next year. And it's either look at April, May, and then August and September and say, oh, is that the team? Is that the real Pirate team right now, or will it be June and July? Because obviously, for it to be a fluke, that's 2 months. 2 months plus a little bit for that to be a fluke, and there's no way that there's going to be that long of a fluke for a team. Now, next year, the team's going to pretty much be the same for the most part, unless Bob Nutting decides to put his foot down and change a whole lot. Meaning, if Hurdle were to get fired, or in Huntington and Coonley, so that remains to be seen. But just all around a big disappointment for the Pirate team. McCutchen, he's 8 points behind Buster Posey for the NL batting title. I thought that would be something exciting. I thought McCutchen would have won it. It'd be a miracle for him to win it now. And a miracle for him to win a Gold Glove, too. So, just a pretty disappointing end, to say the least. I'll be going to the game tonight and tomorrow. Hopefully the Pirates can at least win for the crowd. I doubt there's going to be that many fans there for these final 3 games. But it's just a shame the way this season ended. And I was reading in the Tribune Review, it has to stop. This has to be the last year, because Roberto Clemente, they were honoring his 3,000th hit at the game yesterday because it was the 40th anniversary. And his 2 sons, Luis and Roberto Jr., and then his widow, Vera Clemente, were there to honor him. And the Trib reporter, Dejan Kovacevic, talked to Roberto Jr., and he was just saying, it can't reach to 21. It can't be 21 consecutive losing seasons, because 21 is Roberto's number. And when people think of 21, they're going to say, oh, yeah, Roberto Clemente's jersey number. And then someone else will say, number of years the Pirates have had losing seasons in a row. And it just can't. So, hopefully the buck stops here. But maybe in a week or two, I'll be talking about, it'll probably pretty much be the whole season wrap-up of the Pirates, where we're going to look at the highs, the lows of the season, and also my grades I'll hand out to the players and managers, and looking to next year. What are they going to do? Are they going to bring any new players in? Look at the schedule for next year. It'll be quite a busy off-season for this team, I see, in the future. So that'll be in a week or two, where we just have a show devoted to the 2012 season in review and then the upcoming 2013 season. But now I want to turn my attention to the replacement refs, because they are no longer officiating games in the NFL. This past Thursday, the regular refs signed a deal, an 8-year contract. And they were back for the Thursday night game between the Ravens and Browns. And through the first weekend of games, they done a pretty good job. And of course, there were some calls that were missed and not made, and some that were made that weren't not right at all. But you're gonna get that. But they did a much better job than the replacement refs. So I'm glad that the official ones are back, so that there won't be any games being cost by these replacement refs, such as the Packers-Seahawks Monday night game last week. Now, also want to talk about the Steelers. Their next upcoming opponent will be the Philadelphia Eagles, 1 p.m. here at Heinz. And the Eagles, they came off a really good win last night against the Giants, 19-17, after a missed field goal by Lawrence Tynes. And Philadelphia has won. They're 3-1. The three wins they have been by combined 4 points. So they're finding ways to win games at the end. Vic has 9 turnovers now in 4 games, so it's going to be on the Steelers' defense once again, and hopefully they'll show up this time. They showed up at home against the Jets. Yeah, I hope that they can cause more turnovers. And LaShawn McCoy, returning to Pittsburgh, he's gonna be quite a bit to handle for these Steelers, for the Steelers' defensive line and linebackers. So I think it's gonna be a close game, but obviously I end up seeing the Steelers win, even though the Eagles have beaten the Browns, Ravens, and Giants. I still think the Steelers' defense is going to come through, and I think their offense is going to be clicking once again, especially with the return of Rashard Mendenhall, who will be back for Sunday's game. And really, the running game has done nothing, so obviously anyone who's been a starter in this league would help this team. But Rashard Mendenhall will be back, and he will definitely help this team. I will predict that he will have over 100 yards rushing. I know it's asking him a lot on his first game back after being injured, missing so much time, but I think he can get it done. And now for the defensive side, Polamalu still remains uncertain, but he is looking like he will play. He's been practicing, so I mean, that is a good plus, because Polamalu and Ryan Clark have not been there in the secondary yet this year. So I think that'll be a good sign for their defense. But the bad news is that James Harrison, who was scheduled, to be on pace to come back in the Philadelphia game, had a major setback in practice last week. He's still not healthy after the arthroscopic knee surgery that he had in August. So I don't know when he's going to come back. I hope he comes back at some point this season, because if he is done, his career might be done. That's going to be a problem, because Chris Carter has not shown that he can handle that starting job. And Jason Worlds, he's not fully healthy either. So that will still be a problem. I think sacks will definitely be down if Harrison does not return. But with Polamalu in there, I think the turnovers will go up. So hopefully their defense shows some signs of life and get back to being on track, because they got Philadelphia Sunday, and then they have a short week. They got Tennessee on the Thursday night game in Nashville. So it's going to be a tough 2 games for the Steelers, but they had the bye week. They had to simmer on the Raiders loss. They had to chew on it. But now you got two games in the span of 4 days. And just like that, you're 1-2 Sunday morning, and then maybe Thursday night you're 3-2. So that's a pretty good bargain in my estimate. So for the game, I think the Steelers will beat the Eagles, and I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say they're going to win this game 27-3. I think it's going to be that. It's going to be a dominating game by the Steelers' offense and defense. And as for the Pitt Panthers, who will be playing at Syracuse on Friday on national TV, ESPN, I don't see us putting up that good of a fight. They're 1-3. They lost to Northwestern by 1. Lost to at the time the number 2 USC Trojans by 13. Lost to Minnesota, and they beat Stony Brook. So they haven't beaten any notable competition. And I think if Pitt plays the way they've been playing, solid defensively, Cincinnati doesn't make any mistakes, they get good production from Bennett, Shell, and Graham, I think the Panthers are going to roll pretty easily in this game. So I'm predicting the Panthers to win it I'll say 24-13. The Pitt victory. So that'll pretty much though for today's show. It was a real short one. So next week's show, hopefully going to recording it probably Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll have another special one Friday after the Steelers play the Titans next Thursday. So we'll talk about the Steelers-Eagles game, do a review of that, and then the Pitt Panthers Syracuse game. And if any news happens within the NHL and the lockout situation, we'll be talking about that then. So, signing off on the Sports Wrap, I'm Michael Kravetz, and stay tuned for the next show.